A very warm welcome to you. Many thanks for joining us again on Almond Finance and Wealth Reports this week. As you know, we are source for latest happening information in the financial sector of the nation's economy. My name is Faith Wadi. On this edition of the program, we'll kick off by bringing you the continuation of our exclusive interview with Dr. Uju Ugobonka, who is the chairman of Bank Customers Association of Nigeria, BCAN. I took him up on the current biometric verification number, BVN, and some of the challenges bank customers are going through. On this edition also, we'll bring you highlights of the 10th annual project management lecture put together by the Department of Building, University of Lagos at the Multipurpose Hall, UNILAG. The theme of the lecture this year was National Vision on Housing and Infrastructure, the Role of Project Management. Plus, of course, our short and sharp segment. I urge you, as always, to sit back, relax, and spend this time with us. But all the details are coming to you after this break. Please stay with us.
Nobody appreciates insurance anywhere in the world, and that's the reality.
As a matter of responsibility to ourselves, we've got to remain relevant to their businesses.
It will be far more expensive for me as a business to go offshore to recruit manpower than to recruit the same manpower in Nigeria.
Insurance is essentially an international business, so we cannot just close up and keep everything here.
They are producing bankers not only for today but for tomorrow. They are producing bankers who are fit not only to work in Nigeria but who can work anywhere in the world.
Do you think, in all honesty, that the BVN would eliminate incidences of frauds in the banking system in Nigeria? I ask that because
Go ahead.
oftentimes when you have or when you hear of fraud cases in banks, there's always an insider. There's always a staff of the bank who have aided or abated the outsider to carry out that fraud.
Well, it is not always that you have fraud aided by insiders. Perhaps in many cases there could be such, and that also goes to, give some level of doubt in people's mind whether actually BVN can remove the issue of fraud in the banking industry if there are compromises, for instance, within the system. There is little or nothing technology can do, because technology is in and out, garbage in, garbage out. So if, for instance, somebody inside compromises with technology or with the system, of course any amount of fraud can go on. But if we are diligent enough, if we are honest enough, and if we do the things we are supposed to do, and given what has been ascribed to biometrics, then to a very large extent, fraud perpetrated in that form can be at least minimized, if not completely eliminated. This is subject to what you call insider participation in a fraud. If you have an ATM, for instance, where it has been compromised from within, of course the level of fraud will always continue to be. But if there is no compromise from inside, and the ATM card holder is diligent with the way and manner he or she handles the ATM card, then of course there won't be any fraud. So it's two ways, coming from the customer side as well as coming from the providers of financial services. Fraud cannot be ascribed to just one side of the divide, no. Of course it can happen that way, but in most cases people from inside shouldn't compromise. Once the compromise controls, then anything can go on.
Okay, so in essence, you're saying the fact that customers now have BVN is not enough for them to go and
it's not like you say in absolute terms that there will not be fraud. It could be in absolute terms if those who are managing the system, who are operating the system, do those things they are supposed to do and do them right and diligently. Yes, but otherwise it can't.
Okay, now let's talk about your association, Banks Customers Association of Nigeria. What are you about and who can become a member?
Well, Bank Customers Association of Nigeria, like the name implies, is an association of all those who have accounts in banks. If you have account in any bank in Nigeria, you are entitled to be a member of the association. But membership is not compulsory. It is by virtue of you are registering to be a member. But eligibility is that you have an account in a bank and you want to be a member. Just complete the forms and then you become a member. We'll give you a number. So the objective is essentially to propagate good banking habits. People know their rights, be able to protect their rights, and be able to do what they're supposed to do as bank customers. Because the business of banking is a business of two parties, minimum, the banker and the customer. The third party could be any other consumer that you may give your check or an instrument to. So bankers have their various associations, including Bank Directors Association, for instance, fending for the affairs of bank directors. The junior staff have their own, the senior staff have their own. Unfortunately, those who take their money to the banks didn't have any association. Nobody speaks for them. Nobody was protecting their interests. Nobody was telling them what was going on in the system. And we thought that these are the owners of banks, truly. Because if you go to any bank and compare shareholders' fund with deposits, you find out that deposits of you and I overwhelm the shareholders' fund. So why should those directors, why should all the staff be the ones saying, oh, this bank belongs to us, when indeed the bank belongs to customers? And then they treat you as though they are doing you a favor. And we are saying, no, we are the ones that lay the golden eggs, and we must be treated like, kings, like they always say. Customers should be treated as kings. But you cannot claim those things until you know you are right. And so we try to put up this association together. The membership is growing every day, and I'm so happy to announce that we are so happy that the association is beginning to make its itself felt in the economy, in the banking system, because we respond to issues coming from CBN, we contribute to exposure drafts, and so on and so forth, and we bring members to educate them on things that are happening within the banking industry in such a way as to make them realize that, look, don't do this because it's against you, it's against the economy, it's against the banking system, it's against the rules of the game. These are the things you can do that you don't jeopardize anybody's interest and you don't jeopardize the economy. So we are more like a catalyst trying to promote interest of bank customers, and we are happy to be doing that.
Okay, sir, where the breach of customers' rights and privileges, as an association, can you enforce, or do you just do moral suasion to the banks for them to attend to the customers?
No, you see, in the system there are various levels of or channels that you can put across maybe your complaints or grievances and all that. And what we encourage our members to do is take up any issue with your branch in the first instance. If it fails, go to the head office. If it fails and you can't manage it, you can come to us, and then we can help you to go to those other levels. For instance, you have the Consumer Protection Department in Central Bank of Nigeria. A case could go to that place. You also have the Bankers Committee, Subcommittee on Ethics and Professionalism in Bankers House. That's the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, Secretariat in Lagos. You could take a case to that level. You also have Consumer Protection Council of Nigeria, where you can also, express your views. Indeed, you can go to NDIC, Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation, and lay a complaint, and they can also address it from that point of view. Now, if all these fail, we still have the law courts that you can go to. The association has not taken any case to the law court, but we've been able to go through the system to resolve some issues that were presented by some of our members.
Okay, Doctor, sorry to come in again. You did mention that the first level or channel is for a customer, an aggrieved customer of a bank, to go through the branch.
Yes.
Your problem is not solved, you can go to the head office.
That's right.
Now, most people have come to realize that customers in most, not just the banking sector, are taken for granted most times because they don't know their right one. Two, the average person would say, oh, their head office in Marina, that big place. If I get there, how would they attend to small me? Where do I start from? So, do you see that appears to be a challenge for a lot of people, even those that are educated? Where would I have the time? They would say, come back tomorrow, come back the next day. So, can they just come directly to Beacon if they have any issues?
Oh, sure. In fact, that's what we do. Beacon can attend to such issues for as long as the person is primarily a member in the first instance.
Okay.
We encourage people to subscribe to membership, and it doesn't cost much. So once you are a member and you bring up an issue, those places you think you cannot go, the association will help you to go there. That's why we are an advocacy group. Even though we say we are self-interest group, self-interest does not come without advocacy. You have to advocate for what you need, for what your members need. So if, for instance, somebody has an issue with a bank and the building or the suits people are wearing there are making them to feel frightened or not willing to go there, some of us are willing to go there because it's a familiar ground in the first place. Okay. We are part and parcel of this.
Of the suit wearing.
We are bankers by profession in most cases driving this project because, for instance, we know the rules. We understand the system. And we can talk to the people and they will understand us because they know that we also are part and parcel of the system. So we are there for them. Let them come to Beacon and the Beacon will help them to resolve their issues. For instance, there are some of them that have cases of debts they can't pay. Beacon can help them to look at whatever they have, perhaps seek for a restructuring of the facilities in a way and manner that they can pay, or give them other insights as to what they can do to be able to repay their debts. Because we encourage our members, don't go and borrow money from the banking system without paying. But what you have done indirectly will be taking somebody's own money to go and do whatever you want to do and without returning it. That's not fair. It's not good. We want he who goes to equity must go with clean hands. And that's what we preach to our members. And I'm happy that many of them are subscribing to you. And that's why membership is growing by the day.
Okay, now before we finally leave, sir, I do want you to talk about how people can become a member, the process and the procedure they have to go through. Are there numbers, are there email contacts where people can?
Yeah, the membership of the association is just fill the membership form. We have a form called membership form. All it asks you there is your name, your address. Do you have account in a bank? Don't tell us the bank. Just tell us, you can tell us the bank, but don't tell us the account number. We are not interested in your account number. Okay. The reason why we are asking for your bank is to make sure that truly you have a bank. And when we start doing our statistics, we can say, oh, in Bank A, we have so number as members. In Bank B, we have so number as members. So that helps us to know how we can pursue our cases and of course make our own input. All the people need to do is call any of our members. You can call me directly. I can give you my numbers, even though not on air. You know, once you give your number on air,
you're in trouble.
It becomes another thing. But they can write to us. Our address I can give.
Yes, you can give.
Yeah, we have 2 addresses. One is number 19 Tinubu Street, Lagos Island, Lagos, which is opposite Central Bank in Lagos here.
Lagos, okay.
The second address is number 5 Morris Street, Yaba, off Habad Macaulay.
Okay,
Morris Street, yes. The same street with Yaba College of Tech, the back gate. Okay. Once you get to that place, that's where we are. So any of those places you write to, the letters will get to us. If you also address a letter to us through the Charter Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, the letter will get to us, and then we can attend to it. Okay. But it's important that if you are writing to us, you also include your own address, include your maybe phone number or email address, so that we can reach you easily.
Now, agriculture is the most effective means that government can use to achieve inclusive economic growth that will ensure that more people contribute to the GDP, and the benefit of the growth also cascade down to those that work for it. And according to World Bank 2008 report, the GDP of 42 countries, in the study of GDP of 42 countries, they discovered that agriculture sector was found to be at least twice effective in reducing poverty when compared with GDP growth of other sectors. So with agriculture sector, you can, it's easier, 2 times easier for you to reduce poverty than when you look at other sectors. And this was also confirmed in a study by Quora in 2013. It argued that in developing countries like India, agriculture has the potential of being the largest contributor to the nation's GDP, and it has the ability to stimulate structural transformation in such a way that resources move from low productive sector to higher productivity sectors.
All right, welcome back. Moving on, we'll bring you highlights of the 10th annual project management lecture put together by the Department of Building, University of Lagos in the Multipurpose Hall recently. The theme was National Vision on Housing and Infrastructure, the Role of Project Management. Delivering the theme paper, the guest speaker, Malam Hassan Usman, the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of ASO Savings and Loans PLC, said that delivering affordable houses to Nigerians will take a longer time because of the high interest rates.
Project management is the process and activity of planning, organizing, motivating and controlling resources, procedures and protocols to achieve specific goals in scientific or daily problems. As a discipline, project management developed from several fields of application, including civil construction, engineering and heavy defense activity. Recently, the Department of Building of the University of Lagos put together the 10th Annual Project Management Lecture at the Multipurpose Hall. The theme of the lecture this year was National Vision on Housing and Infrastructure, the Role of Project Management. Chairman was Professor Mohammed Al-Amin, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Federal Housing Authority, while the guest speaker was Mr. Hassan Usman, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of ASO Savings and Loans PLC. Welcoming guests to the lecture on behalf of the Vice Chancellor, Professor Duro Oni, DVC, Management Sciences, called for a symbiotic relationship between the university and the private sector.
The graduates of our program are in the commanding heights of different sectors of our national economy. While the university continues to encourage capacity building in project management, it further solicits the assistance of the private sector in provision of facilities to support the students and teaching faculty of the project management program. The ultimate aim is to further increase access to project management education, cutting-edge research, and best practices in the country. A symbiosis and partnership between the university and the private sector will unarguably help our nation. A unique feature of this year's lecture is the inauguration of the alumni of the Department of Building. These are past graduates of any of our undergraduate and postgraduate programs in the department. The inauguration of the alumni of the Department of Building is one of the ways of creating this partnership.
The primary challenge of project management is to achieve all of the project goals and objectives while honoring the preconceived constraints. Delivering his keynote address, the chairman of the occasion, Professor Mohammed Al-Amin, said that providing housing finance to all Nigerians is non-negotiable.
Housing finance to every Nigerian is a non-negotiable thing that we must pursue. Every adult in this country and the world over need this very important thing to own. And choosing ASO Savings and Loan to come and give us this wonderful presentation and lecture are key into the fact that you aptly understand the context of this theme, and I'm sure the guest lecturer is going to do justice to it by telling us how the 3 A's of affordability, accessibility, and availability could key into whatever is available so that we have many houses through very many different systems and models of its delivery.
Traditionally, project management includes a number of elements. Regardless of the methodology or terminology used, the same basic project management processes will be used. Delivering the theme lecture, the guest speaker, Mr. Usman, MD CEO, ASO Savings and Loans PLC, said that the challenge of infrastructure will take a long time because of the high interest rates.
We live in an environment in which interest rates are very, very high. So even taking on a mortgage, assuming you take a mortgage today at what I would call maybe the average mortgage rate, you're paying at least about 18% per annum. Yeah, it is almost usurious, that kind of rate, because in a normal operating environment with a mortgage sector that is fully functional, interest rates really should not be more than about single digit. Yeah, but we have challenges, and unfortunately that's where we are. If the federal government itself is borrowing at 12-13%, don't forget the federal government has the capacity to simply go out there and to keep on printing more naira notes. So if the guy who's in charge of that is borrowing at 12-13%, it means that nobody in the economy can borrow at less than what the federal government can borrow. So all the rates are north of what the federal government is borrowing at. Regulatory bottlenecks. Now, the challenges that we're faced with infrastructure-wise require innovative solutions. Some of those solutions require public-private partnerships. We don't have an environment today that is clear-cut that says this is how you go about developing a PPP for an airport, for a toll road, for a port, etc.
Other speakers were Mrs. Ekon Etim Eyakenyi, Honorable Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, and a host of others. The current housing need in Nigeria stands at 17 million. This need must be met by the year 2020. While many believe that this is a tall order, experts, however, suggest that with effective project management, many more people can have decent and affordable houses in Nigeria because they will manage resources better, cut waste, and produce better projects of quality.
Alright, that's the time on this edition of the program. I do hope you thoroughly enjoyed it. Like I always say here, for comments, questions, observations, do feel free to get in touch with us on 017763981 or 08033357879. Or better still, send us an email, almond4xx@yahoo.com or almondproduction@gmail.com. You can also visit us on our website, almondreports.com. Like us on our Facebook page, Almond Finance and Wealth Reports, and view past episodes of this program on our YouTube channel, Almond Reports TV. Join us every Wednesday by 9:45 a.m. live on Niger FM 102.7 Lagos for our Pidgin English program called Waiting Insurance They Do Serve. Don't forget to connect with us on WhatsApp via our number 08033357879. My name is Faith Ugwade. Until same time, same station next week, when we'll come your way with a fresh package of this program from all of us here, do have yourselves a wonderful time. Bye-bye.